Oksana, the story of Irena and Sean. Do you want to share that? I have it written down here, but if you want to just...
Yeah, so it is one of my couples, and so they met at my love tour, so it is in-person events that I put together. So she flew all the way from Ukraine. He is a former police officer and firefighter. So right from the start, I knew that they should be together. It was like ideal couple. But Irena, she felt different. And so, but he is a very typical traditional man and, provider, and he got the goal and he went for it. So she went back to Ukraine. He started writing her letters. So she basically told him like there is probably no future, but he didn't quit. So he started writing her letters. Every day at, I can't remember, it's either 8 or 9 in the morning, Ukrainian time, she was getting a letter from him. Mm-hmm. With no answer. He was getting no answer. So for 25 days, every day, he was sending her a letter, and she was reading it. And then, on the day 26, he just didn't write anything. And this is the first time he got the letter back. Where's my letter? And so he went to Ukraine. He proposed to her. They're married now. They're fantastic, wonderful couple. But just that aspect of someone not quitting when they really want something.
Grid1 Motorsports donated $100. I am spending this hundo to warn men of all ages to not get involved with women who use them for Thea wallets and do not pay of models, and Epstein did not kill himself.
Okay, thank you, Grid1 Motorsports. Thank you. Yes, that's can certainly be a red flag if somebody was involved in sugaring or whatnot. So,
wait, what?
What?
I'm confused by the last part. Okay, never mind. I don't want to
continue with your story, Irena and Sean.
Yeah, I mean, it's just talking about the man who just didn't quit and still was going after someone he felt connection with.
Yeah, and so, okay, you kind of already told it, but basically they met at one of your events, your love tour.
Yeah.
He was really into her. She wasn't really into him.
Well, there was lots of things that they would have, not lots, several things that they would have to work through in order for their relationship to be absolutely successful. Now, Irena is telling everyone that, when Oksana tells you that is the one, just listen to her. Just kind of will make things easier.
But in your pre-show notes here, you said that Sean was in love. She didn't feel so. She was visiting the USA. She went back to Ukraine without giving him a chance to develop a relationship. Sean, who's a traditional man, he started writing her letters. 9 a.m. every single day. She would receive them in Ukraine. Would receive a letter day after day, 25 days in a row, writing a full letter. I'll continue in just a sec.
Donated $100. Redhead asked for talking points from her feminist professor, then forgot to study.
Word.
Thank you, Nickelodeon. Appreciate it. Thank you. So, okay, 26 days. There was, she didn't answer. 25 days in a row, she never answered him. Day number 26.
When he stopped, he didn't send her a letter. And she was checking her messages at 9 a.m., 9:15. That is the story they already told me later. And
sure. And then she wrote back, "Where's my letter?"
Yep, okay. Where's my letter? Yep.
2 months later, they were married, and they have been married now for 6 happy years.
Oh, wow.
And you say that's the most romantic story of a man who never gives up.
Well, it is. I have lots of stories. I mean, thousands of stories.
Well, yeah,
it's just something that they are my neighbors. They live not far away from me, and I just we're always communicating, and it's just.
And you also wrote, she's now saying this is the best man in the world, and this is the happiest marriage of hers, because she had 2 marriages before that.
Yep.
I got to push back a little bit on this story. She clearly was not into him. I think that's almost stalker behavior.
It is not about not into him. There's things that they would have to work through.
She didn't respond.
That's the difference of cultural differences.
We Eastern
European women, they have to be like heavily pursued.
Disavow. It might be true, but I'm very much against it.
Well, yeah,
I'm very much against
this is
it.
where it is a little bit harder with American dating, because here men are waiting for the woman to give them a signal that it is okay, basically.
No,
for him to take
not
the
necessarily, but like 25 fucking messages in a day without a response. Because see, that's coming into the territory. I think that's playing a game. Now,
it is not a game.
It's a game.
About his
couple.
security, you know, self-confidence. He wanted this lady, he took her.
I think it. I mean,
this is happy marriage.
That's fine. It might have worked out, but I feel like it can. And not to play the outlier card, because I think this can. If this is the
let's put it the feedback. Okay,
well, let me just finish. If this is the social climate, the dating climate, I do think if like we are teaching, like, bro, if the girl's not into you, like, take a fucking hint, move on. It does kind of encourage stalking behavior, I think. That's not good for men. That's not good for women. Like, if I was not responding to a girl for 25 days and she incessantly continued, I would think she's a stalker.
No. She didn't tell you no. She was just...
There's more than one way to say no.
Okay. Well, he was getting a certain feedback that...
She wasn't responding.
Yeah, but he was getting feedback from me from time to time, and that he...
Yeah.
She was opening up. It would just take her a little bit.
She didn't respond to... He would write full letters. She didn't respond for 25 days.
If this couple would follow what you are preaching, they would not be together and they would not be happy.
He might have found a woman who was more reciprocating.
Oh, she is in love with him. Oh my God, this woman, she is like, he is on the pedestal.
She should have been in love with him from the get-go.
Love?
Maybe not love, but she should have at least reciprocated, shown some degree of interest. My personal view is like, look,
she did show him a degree of interest.
Let me say this. If you play hard to get, you very quickly become hard to want. That's my view. If a girl is playing this hard to get bullshit,
it is not. She was not playing hard to get. There were things that they would have to work through to build that happy relationship.
He sent her 25 letters, and she did. Look, it's great for them that they're married and it worked for them. That's cool. However, speaking in generalities, I would argue that if you are dealing with, whether you're a man or a woman, and you're like doing all this shit, and they're not even like, they can't even give you a response, whether you're a man or a woman, move on. Because you can invest your time and energy so much better in somebody who will match and reciprocate and actually be...
But she was a keeper for him.
It worked out. You know what? There's outliers. Sometimes things can work out. Generally speaking, though, I would argue that it's much better to just, if somebody isn't giving you the same, like, you just move on.
Your idea of general and my idea of general. I mean, I have a record of 30 years. To prove that my idea works, okay? Because couples that I do put together,
seems a bit
they
simpish.
are together.
Seems a bit simpish. I don't know.
And happy.
But like, it's such an L. Like, I do hear these stories even in the West of like men who are like, yeah, she rejected me 5 times, and then she finally came around, and you know what's more gangster? She fucking, maybe not loved, but she was so fucking into me immediately. That's way better than, I had to convince her and she rejected me 5 times and, but I was persistent. Nah, I think persistent can, look, not always, but like, I think it's just, especially in the current social climate with women exposed, like, bro, persistence is gone. If she says, like, if a girl rejects you, it's over. It is done. There is no persistence.
If you have to make the conclusions yourself without any help, I understand how frustrating that would be for you, because you wouldn't know what's going on in her head. Now, in my situation, I'm the person who is helping the guys to understand what is going on in her head, because they do share with me. Woman to women connection number 1 is...
Sean _from _LA donated $100. Asked my wife to go on a date in September.
It's an L.
She said, maybe next year.
Ooh, maybe.
Asked her nearly every week, and she said the same. Our first date was Jan 6th. We're married 5 years with 2 kids now.
Sean, that's fantastic. Good for you. it worked. However, if you're fine with that's cool. I never want to be, my view is attraction cannot be negotiated. She either likes me or she doesn't. If she doesn't like me, goodbye.
It is not about attraction. It is not about attraction.
A girl who says maybe next year, if you ask her on a date in September, in my view, that's demonstrating a very low level of interest. For me, I don't chase.
It is not the words. It is the actions that
don't chase.
So her actions maybe were completely different. Otherwise, he would not be reading her message that she wants him in her life.
I don't
words
know.
is the one thing. Actions is totally different.
And especially in our culture, we look for actions.
I can't speak to how it is in, you said what, Slavic countries. My own advice for men: you don't chase low interest women. Like,
you never know if they're low interest or they just want actions, to see that probably this guy wants
I like
me.
you. Would you like to go on a date? No? Okay, goodbye.
No. It doesn't.
There is no, once a girl turns you down, look, maybe you can be like, you can say something witty. If you ask her on a date, be like, you can maybe make a joke, crack a joke, give it one other chance, maybe. But if a girl says no, like, okay, cool, I don't deal with low interest women. I don't play games like this. I don't want to play games with the girl.
It depends on...
If the girl, I like you, do you like me? Cool, let's fucking hang out. There is no, I'm not going to play this like...
Why don't you ask the ladies if they would want to be like pursued by the man and courted alone?
Any girl who's had a stalker will... Well,
it is why stalker. No, it's when it is normal guy, but he's showing with his actions that he is ready to...
if a guy is attractive enough for a girl to want to be, for a girl to want that guy to be persistent, she will already have deemed him attractive and want to date him. There will be no need for his persistence. That's my view. But you said you want to go around the table on this. Let's go around the table. If you tell a guy no, is it can he, I don't know how to frame the question.
I think if he asks a few times, sure, but when it becomes more than that, it's kind of annoying.
Okay, what about you?
I'm not going to knock persistence, but yeah, like she said, if after like a few times, a no is a no, like get the hint. Otherwise, like communicate why it's a no, and then like if it's still a no, like leave it at that.
Okay, what about you?
I'm kind of on like both sides because I've had like stalkers and then I've had guys who are like super persistent.
We're not talking about stalkers.
No, but like that's why he was giving like, oh, that's stalker vibes. But like I've definitely had like an actual stalker, and then I've had like guys who were super persistent, and no matter how attractive they are, they could be like, they can break the charts, but I'm still probably going to be like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know.
Look, it is some women like persistence. I just generally, from a purely time-saving point of view, there's plenty of fish in the sea. If she's not down for you, there's another woman who will be. It's not worth your time wasting. Like, I don't know. I try to come at it from an abundance perspective. I don't view women like from a scarcity frame where I'm like, oh no, if it doesn't work with her, like I don't believe in the one. I don't believe in any of that shit. Granted, there's some fantastic women out there that, you should make a best effort at trying to get her. But if it's a no-go, goodbye. Okay. Peace out, dog. Hold on, I'll be like this. Hold up. I'll be like,
peace out. You too, homie.
you too, homie.
But if she says one thing, but her actions speak different, like she's
I don't like that either.
You.
I don't like that either, though.
Because it takes actions from you, but you like low efforts. You say
I like
you want
high
to
effort.
ask.
I like high effort from women.
Oh, exactly.
That's how it should be.
That it should be low.
Come
effort.
bow for me.
Exactly. Exactly. That's how it works for you.
Show me the bow.
It's actually much harder to be the woman for the relationship than it is for a man to be man for the relationship.
What? I'm confused by that statement.
The way women carry their relationship and the way they help their man to be like the best. Behind every successful man, there is a wise woman, right? You heard that saying.
Tim Cook is gay, just saying.
You take
Apple
most of
CEO,
the.
just saying.
You take most of the guys who are very
every successful tech
there is a
entrepreneur,
wise woman.
There's a gay man. Tim Cook,
it
hello?
is okay, but in majority.
I don't know where I'm going with that one.
In majority. So,
okay, fine.
But for the woman to have that knowledge and energy to make her help men grow.
I don't disagree with you.
To carry
I don't
the
disagree with
core for all of the kids.
Sure.
To take care of the household.
Yeah.
To like, it is actually a lot of work for the woman, but it's well worth it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't like this game playing. If I like a girl and
Jeremy
she likes
in
me,
Vegas
it should
donated
be as easy as that.
$100. Brian, you're right. I do not give my time, money, or whatever else to somebody who won't or does not seem to want to make time for me. Period, paragraph, end of story. I'm too important for that.
Because look, again, there's definitely like in the couple scenarios, there's that guy who chimed in with the chat. Absolutely persistence, like, can it ultimately lead? Can the woman see you in a new light? Sure. But like a lot of guys have also had the experience of we get a girl's number, we text her and like, oh, are you free this Friday? And she's like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll let you know. Okay. And it's like, first off, I would argue, and I think a lot of girls at this table would agree, because I think a lot of women are not going to be upfront about like just wanting to outright reject a guy. And there's a few ways that might manifest. For example, she might be interested in him, but she's also got a couple other options on the table, so she doesn't necessarily want to commit to him to go on that date or whatever. But it's certainly the case. Like if a girl gives me the maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Ghosted. You're done. I'm not texting you anymore.
We're talking about extremes. You're talking about
no, but that's not an extreme. It's not an extreme. It frequently happens to men that if you get a girl's number and you're like, hey, I'd love to meet you for dinner Friday 7 p.m., she'll be like, oh, especially I feel like older women are a bit more mature and they'll actually typically avoid giving you not always the case. So I've actually encountered a lot of like professional women who are established in their career, late 20s, early 30s, who will give you this vague, ambiguous shit where you don't know where you stand. But definitely when I was in college, a lot of women be like, oh, I don't know, I got a test coming up, I'll let you know, or and I'm like, I've made the mistake of like following up. Oh, okay. Well, what about next week? Maybe. It's like, bro, she's not interested.
But why
she's
don't
not
you
interested.
connect
Goodbye.
And say, okay, you have tests coming up. Can I help you with something? Can we study together? I mean, not about just.
That's simp shit.
It's not.
No, if a girl is really down for you, if she really likes you, she will make time for you. She will make time for you. A girl who says, maybe I'll let you know. Goodbye.
And she was making time for him. She read every letter over and over and over. Yeah.
She didn't respond though. She didn't respond.
Yeah, but she was
and she
waiting
almost lost the
for
guy.
that
She almost lost
letter.
the guy.
She didn't lose the guy.
All I'll say is this: all the time he spent on this one girl, he could have been pursuing other women, getting other leads.
They are very happy together. Super happy.
I see these like stories, these like marriage stories of like, oh yeah, like they're doing the toasts or whatever at the, what's it called, the reception or whatever, and like, yeah, I didn't like him at first. That's such a fucking disrespectful, like.
Can I
look,
speak on that?
well, let me just finish
What
really
about
quick.
guys? Guys also said like this, oh, I
That's
just wanted to
rare.
date her, just I didn't consider her seriously, but then I fell in love with her. I saw how good she is or something. But
No,
firstly,
okay.
initially, I just fucked her. Sorry, just like, right? Like,
Well, look,
initially,
obviously, like
you know,
love.
just like, I've heard a lot of stories and from my friends. And no, I'm not serious about her. I'm just spending time
There's a
with
difference
her,
though.
right?
Obviously, like love is something that needs to grow and develop, and having these feelings towards a partner. You're not instantly going to like be in love with somebody. I suppose some people do, but you're not instantly going to have like. It takes time to develop those strong feelings and that bond.
Exactly.
But what I'm talking about is a girl who like rejected the guy, rejects a guy, turns him down.
She did not reject.
There is not
she
100
welcomes his letters.
No, if
That's
if
no,
a girl,
I'm not talking about her specifically, but in general, you hear these stories of like, oh no, I turned him down like blah 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 3 times, and then like, oh, I finally, no man, that's not that's not the kind of relationship that I want with a girl. I want her to be down for me from the get-go.
And she gives you the signals. She is giving you the signals that you are welcome into her life. Okay?
I just
she
think
just gives you the opportunity to put this stand like
I think
who
she settled.
you are.
I think she settled. He pedestalized her. She didn't even respond to him. 25 letters. That's ridiculous. If a girl didn't respond to me after fucking 4 text messages,
If you would have
goodbye.
met that couple, you would have changed your mind completely.
They weren't a couple though. It didn't sound like they
Well,
were a
if
couple.
you would have met them now, because everybody's
now,
looking
sure.
at them, it's like, I want that husband, that type of man.
Look, it happened. It happened for them. But generally speaking, my advice to men is just find a woman with high interest. It's not that much to ask, I think. So I don't know.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead. I need to get up for a sec if you guys want to talk shit about me more.
Okay, finally. Well, I've like had experiences too where like I just saw a guy as a friend and like I didn't like see him romantically. I wasn't like initially like attracted to him, and then as he showed more interest and he, you know, was like, hey, like I got you this. I know you're having a bad day. Like I got you this specific thing that you said that you liked one time. And then I was like, oh wait, like maybe like he would be a good partner. And then like with this specific guy, like I ended up like he was the closest to love I ever was, and I didn't even find him attractive at the beginning. So like
through his actions, through his care, that's what he displayed to you, that you matter.
100%.
Yes.
And it means like if man, as Brian says, we're talking about you, Brian, minimal here. Like, yeah, it's like me. Yeah, if a guy, of course there are stalkers, there are bad situations from men and women, of course, but you know, if a guy don't want to put any efforts to show, because you know, women fall in love faster, we attached faster. For guy, if he doesn't show any actions, any affections, any steps doesn't take, he will not fall in love. It will be your situationship that might be somehow will evolve to relationship, but actually you will feel that you're in a relationship, but guy is not committed. So that's why, of course, you need to consider. But in our also culture, if a man shows and act. And he can. It's very romantic stories, you know, just and it exists. But
a woman does quite a bit in a relationship. It is absolutely must that you know the behavior of the man always
reflects what the woman
and
is.
also
a woman is the one who actually makes men act a certain way.
Yeah.
Right.
And also here in Western culture, what I've heard, like European American culture, men don't take actions for many reasons, and that's why they getting used to women taking actions instead of them, and then they ended up waiting for the first steps from women, like and saying why she doesn't text me. For example, in my head, man who has prior role to text me to show his interest to me, and like
well, it's the whole thing about pursuing, and like men, it's built into their nature to be a pursuer, to pursue the woman.
That's
and
how they getting attached.
Every animal you ever see, like it's nature for the male to seek out to mate these females, like, and that's just how it is. That's just how God made us.